Okay, yeah, another thought for the day when I'm driving down the road, as you do. And I was just thinking about a book that I read some time ago by Seth Godin, and the book was titled The Dip. And really what the book was talking about was asking yourself the question, am I in a dip, or is this a cul-de-sac? So really interesting. And really one of the things that he talked about was say for example, maybe you're learning to be a snowboarder, and it's something that you're wanting to do, and you're wanting to master becoming a snowboarder, so you can go up the mountain and enjoy your time in the snow. So you're not a snowboarder, but you're wanting to learn, so you organise some lessons, which is always a good thing to do in anything in life, is to find out how things are done by other people, and take on a mentor, or take on somebody who knows the game and how to play it. So you're up the mountain, you're having your first snowboarding lesson, and away you go, and so you're sort of going through that lesson, and you're thinking, wow, this is really hard, and I don't know how to do it, and it's not coming naturally, and I had a few crashes and bits and pieces, and the person that's your mentor, or your trainer, or your guide is actually saying to you, hey, look, just hang in there and keep pushing through. And so you get to the end of the day, and you're battered and bruised, and you're wet and you're cold and everything else, and you front up the next day for lesson number 2, and the whole thing all starts again. And this day, you've got a few aches and pains and a few bruises and bits and pieces, but there you are, you're back on the board, and you're having another crack at it. So as time goes on, you might get to day 3 or day 4 or whatever, and you're really starting to ask yourself, am I any good at this? Am I going to be able to master it? Am I actually going to break through? And at that stage, really what Seth Godin is saying is, ask yourself the question, am I in the dip, or am I in a cul-de-sac? And so you just keep pushing on through until you do that. So after a week of snowboarding and everything else, and you're back there on the board again, and you no longer got your mentor with you, but you're out there and you're actually doing it, and certainly you're a lot better than you were when you first started, and at least you can stand up on this jolly thing, but you're out there practicing. So really, what Seth's saying is ask yourself the question: is this something that I really want to do? Is this going to actually produce the result for me that I actually want? And is it something that I can do, or am I actually in a cul-de-sac? For example, if it was something that was really beyond your physical capabilities, is it something that I can do, and is it something that I actually want to do? Is it this point in time, am I just in a cul-de-sac and I'm going to come out the other end? So many things in life are like that. So we look at, can we do something, or is it something that is actually beyond me, or is it something that I really am in a cul-de-sac, and I should actually be looking at doing something else? So quite often, if you think about, if I can do this, we can, and if we think, well, I can't do it, then that's exactly what will actually happen. So, day 1 of our snowboarding lesson, if we turn around and said, no, I can't do this, then you'd be 100% right. You can't. But if you actually ask yourself the question, hey, I can do this, I just need to persevere, and I need to come out the other end. So I'm just in a dip at the moment, and I actually want to become proficient as snowboarding, and I want to follow this particular sport. So whatever we're doing in life, we ask ourselves the question, and that sort of raises another thing for me, is one of the sayings that I absolutely love, and I think it's really valuable, is that the quality of life that we have is actually directly dependent upon the quality of questions that we actually ask. So whether that's questions that we're actually asking our mentors or our advisors or our other team players or whatever, is are we asking the right questions? Because quite often, if we ask the right questions, we can actually have an impact on our lives. So that might actually be questions that we're actually asking of ourselves as well, not just questions of other people. So it sort of reminds me of I was listening to a guy the other day that was talking about this particular tree that when the seed is actually planted, it takes something like 5 years for it to actually become actually break through the ground and actually start to grow. So you know the seed is actually sown, and it takes 5 years before it actually comes out into the world and actually starts to grow. And in that first 12 months, it actually grows at a phenomenal rate that is absolutely crazy. And so really what we're saying is, or the question of this is did it take 6 years for it to grow, or did it take 12 months for it to grow? And obviously what it is that when the seed was actually planted, what's actually happening is it takes 5 years for it to poke its head out of the ground and then start to grow. So it's clearly takes 6 years for it to grow to the height that it has, not 12 months. So what things are going on in your life that actually take time to actually to eventuate? So take the T of can't, and maybe you can, and maybe what it is that you're in a dip, you're not actually in a cul-de-sac. So keep pushing on through so that you can actually have the growth and have the achievement that you actually want to achieve. So there's the thought for the day, and so I hope that actually provides some value or some input into whatever it is that you're trying to do. And the thing is really look at it and say, is it a cul-de-sac? Is it actually a dip that I'm in? And maybe what I need to do is just put my head down and remain focused and keep doing what the people that are actually doing this are actually achieving. And hey, look, one last thing. I remember listening to quite a number of years ago. I went to listen to Robert Kiyosaki, and one of the things that he talked about was take your advice from people that are actually doing it. Take your advice from those that are actually making results and actually going somewhere, rather than actually taking your advice from people that are actually saying do it, and this is the way that you do it, but they're not actually doing it themselves. So there you go. There's the last thought for the day. Well, there's a whole pile of thoughts in there, but okay. I hope your day is going really well, because mine's great. Even though I'm hooning down the road, and well, I'm not actually hooning, but I'm cruising down the road, and it's a great day, and I hope yours is too. Cheers.